Hi, I'm George, and today we're going to be going through the Klingon Duolingo. So I'm no Klingon expert, but I do know there's not many Klingon resources out there, at least not free ones. I'm going along and doing the Duolingo course, and I thought maybe you'd like to tag along for the ride. I'm really loving so far this Duolingo course, except there's a lot of things. Klingon is a very interesting language, it seems, very different from English. There's a tips bit that goes down and you can read through kind of like a textbook all the things that you're going to be practicing in the module. You've got that to start with, and then you've also got the next step in understanding is the discussion. So if you don't understand a question in the module, you go to the discussion and you ask about it. And the mods, all they say is just read the tips, look it up yourself, we don't have time to do it. And I get that, I get their volunteers, and I get that few people have worked so hard over a very long time to bring this module to bring this course together. But the thing is, if it's an educational resource, and they're in this sense teachers, it's not good teaching to just say, go back and look it up yourself. Imagine you're in a classroom and you put up your hand and teacher's like, yo, what's your question? And you say, I don't understand this. I've just read it, I don't understand. And all they say is,
well, read it again.
Do it yourself, the information's there. Because learners are all totally different. Some people need things said to them in different ways. And at the moment, Klingon mods just aren't providing that. Which is fair enough, they've already done so much. So, hey. Alright, so let's just have a look at this. So if you go into Duolingo on your PC, on the browser, when you click on a module, it will give you this little icon here, in which case you can read the tips. So, oh gosh, no idea how to pronounce that. I'm on this journey just as much as you are. Qapla? No, that's an I. Qamlu Yakku. Activate communicator. Hello and welcome to Duolingo's course in Klingon. We're excited to bring you the language of the future to your primitive technical devices. We would like to tell you hello and welcome in Klingon, but as you'll see, Klingon does not have equivalents in these words. Klingons tend to be very direct and rarely engage in conversation simply for the pleasure of conversing, making superfluous many of the pleasantries we are accustomed to using in English. Oh, there's some big words there. So, first up, English speakers are going to be going like, what? No hello? What is this? And this is actually something really awesome about language learning, is that you get to see how different languages see different things, and it changes their perspective. Language reflects the people's perspective. Always remember that language is a reflection of society. Language doesn't shape society. A good example of society changing language is the push for political correct language that's currently taking place right now. All the time we've got new words, new ways to say things, and old ways that are now offensive. And another way that we can see perspective being reflected in language is that in romantic languages such as French, all objects have a gender. And it's a predetermined gender that everyone knows. The chair is female, the bed is male, I'm just making that up. And everyone knows chair is feminine, bed masculine. And instead of saying the chair, the bed, they will say a female version, a she, and a male version of he. And to English speakers, that's so weird. Like, we can't, when we look at objects, we don't automatically see their gender, but people that gender objects, they see it, and it's totally normal to them. And that's one of the awesome things about Klingons and the Klingon language, is that because they're aliens, their culture is so different from ours. Like, you can see the difference in perspective of it being an alien language, and that is amazing. It also makes it hard because, in terms of language learning, that you can't just start off on simple words like what's the word for cat, what's the word for dog, because there's no cats and there's no dogs on Kronos. In this part of the course, we will focus on getting you using Klingon right away by introducing useful phrases. The grammar for these phrases will be explained in future lessons. And this is the issue that most people are having in the discussion space on Duolingo, is a lot of people saying, I can see the Klingon words, I can see what it means, I'm memorizing the words, but I can't actually answer the questions because the grammar is so different from English. The word order, it's not this word, this word, this word, this word, it's that word goes there and that word goes there. And people are asking questions, how do I answer this question? And the only answers they're getting are look at the tips and it will come up future in the course. People are getting questions wrong because they can't answer it because they don't know the grammar. It's an absolute guessing game. And also we are using skills that if we had information supporting these skills that we are currently practicing, we would actually be able to learn. Right now it's a guessing game, but we're still doing the exercises. But if they gave us the information, we'd be able to do the exercises and actually learn from them. The Klingon alphabet has the following letters. Da-da-da-da. Note that case matters. Many letters are always lowercase, even at the beginning of a sentence, and some are always uppercase. And then it just notes that you've got the capital I and a lowercase l. And that does start confusing people. But yeah, you just gotta look out for that little curve on the little L there, which is on the Duolingo's website. In terms of our prefixes, and also note that the apostrophe counts as a letter, and it represents a glottal stop. I used to study linguistics, and I hate it when people would just shove words in without explaining them. Like, people will be like, oh, did you hear that glottal stop? And it's like, oh, can you glottal stop using terminology like that and tell me what you mean before I learnt what it meant. And yeah, it's fun that they don't explain what a glottal stop is, but they just tell you it's there and that it's an apostrophe. So what's a good example? In Indonesian, sorry is maaf. It's M-A-A-F. So it's not maaf, as we would speak in English, it's ma'af. In Klingon, they have at and e at the end of a lot of words separated by a glottal stop. Oh look! No, they're gonna explain it. They're gonna explain that in the sound skill, which is coming up later. Not at the start though. Let's not start with the fundamentals. Another beautiful thing that I've seen on this website is people complaining about this, and they just say, oh, use your Klingon bravely, go in there and give it all you've got. Grrr! No Klingon warrior ever went to battle without learning how to use a battler first. Nuk nech and nuk nech is a truncated form of nuk dahe, meaning what do you want. It is a common misconception that this is the Klingon word for hello. In fact, Klingons do not have a word for hello. If a Klingon wishes to say something, they'll walk up to you and say it, without wasting time. As they see it, it's idle chatter. Qapla is Klingon for success. And this is often, just like nuk nech is hello, this is the goodbye that's not actually goodbye. Instead, it means success in your next battle. Qapla, also known as the Klingon teacher of Germany, has produced an informative video about the words nuk nech and Qapla, available in both English and German, so check those out. Verbs. Klingon verbs do not have tense, past, present, or future. And we may be like, whoa, but how do you understand things? And that will be very similar to the example about romantic languages. They do have aspect, whether an action is completed or continuous, but that will come later in the course. For now, translate verbs as non-continuous forms. He walks, or he walked, not he is walking, or he was walking. So pretty much that just means take out tense, and imagine that he is doing something, like right now, until the continuous aspect is introduced. Klingon verbs show the subject and the object of verbs by means of prefixes. And this is where it gets fun. words are created by putting morphemes together, and you've got a root morpheme, which is the word, and a prefix is when you add something at the start. A suffix is when you add something at the end, and it's very uncommon in English, but there is a middle one as well. So a prefix example of that would be to activate something. Activate is the root word. Deactivate. The D is a prefix. And you can see that these are prefixes because they've got the little line here, which is telling you that the word is going to happen next. If it was a suffix, the little line would be on this side. Subject, object, I should explain. So the subject is the thing doing something, the object is what's happening to it. So I kick a ball. So it's subject, verb, object. I being subject, kick, verb, ball, object. When you're talking about people though, as the object, you can say I kicked Tom. Tom is the object. I kicked him, her, it, they. That can be the object, and vice versa. She, he, him, her, kicked. The object. So we've got je, mind the pronunciation. We've got je, which is I as the subject, and there's no object. So it's just I am smart. There's no object there. There's no ball. There's no Tom. It's I am smart. I, je. Blit, which is you and no subject, and just for one person. So you are smart. There's no object involved. Blit, which is again I, but also involves the object. So that will be when you kick the ball or when you kick Bob. Da, which is you as the subject, and him, her, it, anything else is the object, but when there's more than one person. So when when you're telling an army of Klingons to go kick the ball, you will say you will go kick the ball using the da. If the subject is third person, he, she, it, they, and has either no object or third person object, him, her, it, them, then the verb has no prefix. So what we can get out of this is that the prefix goes on the verb. So kicked being our verb, so we'd say da kicked, but Klingon for kicked. And what this is telling us is that if the subject, so the person doing the action, is in third person, she did this, he did that, they did that, you're recounting something, then there's no prefix used. And also same thing for a third person object, with the exception of they, him, her, it, which you will learn later. Thanks, Duolingo. So a verb such as yarj can mean he understands, she understands, it understands, they understands, he understands, him, her, it, them, she understands, him, her, it, them, they understand. Woo! And is the same in the past or future tense. Because of the verbal prefixes, the subject and or object does not have to be included as a pronoun. The subject or object pronouns are often left off. Pronouns are she, he, him, her. Torch and Mara. These are our Klingon friendos that we're going to be learning all about. 1 minute they understand, 1 minute they don't understand, 1 minute they're speaking, they can speak a language, the next minute they can't speak Federation Standard. You'll get used to that. And yeah, talk is a guy and Mara is a girl. I prefer Mara. Much easier to say. You're gonna meet more friendos as you go along, apparently. Okay, so this is a fun one. Joining nouns with and without and. Nouns are joined with edge, which comes after the nouns. as in Torg, Mara, edge, Torg and Mara, and Ho, Pung, edge, the language and the name. That's kind of cool. There is no edge after two nouns next to each other. If there is no edge after two nouns next to each other, the effect is similar to possession. Mara, Polk, Mara, name, Klingon, Ho, a Klingon's language, the Klingon language. So pretty much what that's saying is edge is and, but it comes after the nouns, which is actually pretty cool and pretty efficient, which you can really see the Klingon perspective in that they want to know what they're talking about. Word order. Klingon word order in a sentence may seem like the opposite of English word order. First comes the object, if any, then the verb, then the subject. So for a sentence such as Mara lech talk means talk sees Mara. Alright, so let's break that down. So Klingon word order in a sentence may seem like the opposite of English word order. First comes the object, then the verb, then the subject. So instead of I kicked the ball kicked I. The ball is being kicked by I. This still makes sense in English, just in a really weird way. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There's definitely some languages that are even weirder than that. But yeah, the word order will be your biggest hurdle. Let's scroll all the way up. Look at all the stuff we've already gone through. And we can go start lesson. Now we're testing me here. So, Mara does talk, understand. So let's identify what our subject here is. Because this is breaking up this phrase into two clauses, this one clause here does talk, understand. So let's say that Mara is going to be the start.
Mara.
Mara. And take a moment to look at how the M isn't capitalized. Now let's have a look at this. Yaj ah is the word we need to use for does ... understand. If talk is the subject, then that's going to come at the end. So Yaj ah. And you'll see there, that bad boy there is a glottal stop. Yaj ah. And then Torch, whose name is destroying me. Let's check that. Ah, we're correct. Continue.
Mara, Biyaj ah.
These are two different clauses, so the word order should be exactly the same. So, Mara,
Biyaj ah.
Biyaj ah, do you understand? Oh! Are you tell me how to say it? No? Okay. Talk! Oh, that's an interesting one, because it seems talk in this is the subject. Talk, do you understand Mara? So I'm going to say Mara is the object, which would make, yes, it would make Mara come before the verb phrase, do you understand, Dayaja. So let's put Mara there with no capital, and we're correct. Yaj be Mara, which Yaj means understand, and when you got be, it means does not understand. And what this Yaj be Mara means, Mara as the object, Mara does not understand. Mara is the subject, so for us it's Mara doesn't understand, but in Klingon it doesn't understand Mara. The rest of the module is just a matter of learning the words. That's it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helps you on the first part of your Klingon journey.